Hi there, I'm going to show you how to get started with projection mapping. This is the first video in a brand new series on the channel exploring projection mapping, which I am calling Projection Mapping Mondays. This video will provide a great foundation to getting up and running quickly with projection mapping. We will cover more in-depth topics in the future, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos. I think the best way to get started with projection mapping is to see it in action and just how easy it is by showing you how to projection map this. But first, let's answer the question, what is projection mapping? Projectors have been around for a long time, and traditionally we project a rectangular image onto a rectangular screen. But what if we want to project onto some other object that is a different shape? That is where the word mapping comes into play in projection mapping. We need to warp the projector's output to only fall on what we want to project on. Projection mapping is becoming more and more common to see, with displays ranging from Disneyland all the way to the Sydney Opera House. And the best part is we only need 3 things to start projection mapping ourselves: a computer, a projector, and a piece of software that can help us with mapping. I am using a simple office projector, my laptop, in QLab. Now let's get this stuff hooked up. Okay, what I've done so far is I've set up the projector, plugged in all the cables, pointed it at the surface, and made sure that everything was in focus. Now let's get to the mapping part. So what I've done already is started up QLab. If you do not have the paid version of QLab Video, you can enable demo mode by going up to QLab from the menu and start demo mode, and this will give you all the features. What we're going to want to do is create a new workspace first. Once our workspace is created, we need to set up what's called a surface. And you can think of a surface as the thing that we are projecting on. So our cardboard cutout there will be one surface. And to do that, in the bottom right hand corner, we're going to click on this gear icon, and this will bring up the settings. To the left hand side, there are going to be tabs, and we're going to want to click on the video tab. We can then X out of these 2 video services that QLab created by default because we do not need them. And I'm going to hit the plus button to create a new empty surface. The first thing that we're going to want to do is define the name of the surface, and I'm going to call it cardboard, since that's what it is for me. And the next we need to specify the sort of the resolution of our surface. And stay tuned for another video I have coming up that will teach you how to calculate this number. There we go. Once we entered the dimensions, the next thing we need to do is assign our projector to this surface. So in the left-hand bottom corner of the screen's assigned pane, I am going to hit the plus button, and I'm going to choose my projector from the list. Now is the fun part where we actually begin the mapping process. And to help us, we're going to enable the grid. And what this will do is QLab will send a grid pattern throughout to our projector, and then we are able to use this to map to our surface. And I'm just going to make this a little larger so it's easier to see. And I'm going to grab in the center of the name of our projector, and as I drag this around, you can see that we're moving this surface here. So I'm just going to plop it right here in the middle, and depending on your surface, this might be bigger than needed or smaller than needed or a different proportion. So what we're going to do now is we need to basically stretch this to fill the surface completely. And the way that we're going to do that is on these four corners, you're going to have these little handles that you can grab. So I'm going to start with the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to click that. As you can see, when I grab and I drag around, we are warping this grid, and this is how the mapping process works. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to place it in the very upper left-hand corner without going over. Next, I'm going to the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to grab that handle, and we are going to grab that to the outside, one of the bottom corners. I'm going to do that. and the very last corner. And then what we're basically looking for is we want this grid to cover our entire surface without any spilling over behind it. And there we go. We have made QLab aware of what the boundaries of our surface are. So now we can go ahead and turn off this grid. And then we can X out of this window and X out of this window to get back to our workspace. So next we need to import a media file that we want to play. And to do that, I'm just going to drag one from my downloads folder, and I'm going to drop it right into QLab. And we'll notice that there's this red X, and what that means is we have not assigned this surface that we just created to this video cue. To do that, we're going to click on that cue, and we're going to go down to Displays and Geometry. And once we do that, we can see the video surface option. We just need to click on that and select the surface we just created. And once we do that, the red X will go away. I'm going to click on it once again, and I'm going to press the spacebar, and it is now playing on our surface. But you'll also notice that we just mapped the full surface, so why do we still have black bars on the top and the bottom? Well, that's because by default it's going to fit our content within our surface. And since this is a 16:9 video, it's a different ratio. And we can easily fix that under where it says Mode, and we can change that to Custom Geometry. And you'll notice in the preview here, we're able to see the scaling, and we can use the scale option right here. I'm clicking and dragging down to scale this just until the content is covering the whole surface. Now if I were to click on that and hit spacebar again, we can see now that we have successfully projection mapped this piece of cardboard. Congratulations! You now know the basics of projection mapping. If you want to learn more about projection mapping, check out this playlist here. And I will see you next time.